Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Redlands. My name is Joe. I'll be leading you on this guided meditation this morning. So let me invite you to just close your outer eyes. Take a nice deep inhalation in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let us do this about 3 times. Just nice deep inhalations, exhalations. Just feel the rise and fall as we center ourselves. Centering in divine consciousness. In oneness with the great universal spirit that I call God. If you choose to call it something else, whatever your preference. We breathe in. We breathe out, knowing that we are interconnected and unified with this power, this presence, this benevolent force that is good and only good. That responds to us as we ask of it. And allow your breathing to grow deeper and your body more relaxed and centered in attention and focus with your divine breath. Let any distracting thoughts that may come into your mind as we breathe. Do not resist. Do not strain. Just consciously acknowledge. Let them pass. And return your focus to your breathing. Shall you need to repeat this process? That is okay. It is normal. Just keep returning your focus and your attention to your divine breath and allow it to grow deeper, more prolonged. Visualize that radiant, bright, burning coal within that is divine spirit. The essence of God that you are. Feel that inner light stoke up, flare up, throughout your entire body with every inhalation. And with every exhalation, dispel that light and that energy outward into the sanctuary and beyond. This healing energy within and without. As it ebbs and flows from within out. Bring your attention to part of your body that may be experiencing tension, pain. Maybe your head, maybe your shoulders, your neck, maybe your upper back, your lower back, your legs, your feet. Wherever you may be experiencing it, just put your attention on it. As you breathe in, visualize just this golden, divine light and power, healing energy. As you exhale, allow all that unwanted tension or pain to fill your outward breath. Pull it away from you, outward. Like sparks from a fire. Fill your body, spit these sparks out. Outward. As they flicker and die out and dissipate into the void. Breathe in that healing energy. Just feel it now, restoring these parts of your body to wholeness, healing, health, divine energy. See it, visualize it operating now. The source power. Knowing that spirit is all there is. God is all there is. And it is perfect. Therefore, my body is perfect. Your body is perfect. As we feel all that negative energy and unwanted emotion, false perceptions of pain, just pull out and extract every exhalation. And we breathe in all that is good, all that is true. As As we experience this now, without strain, let it be so. And we let it flow. In this stillness, keep your attention focused on the inward flow of divine light, healing source energy, flowing inward. Outward with every exhalation. See those sparks of all unwanted energy flow outward and die out. is peaceful. All is good. Say to yourself, I am perfect, I am whole, and I am complete. Now you may open your eyes. So we return to the sacred space. This concludes our meditation. Thank you.
You back into the room a little bit here after that beautiful meditation. And want you to know that you're in the right place, at the right time, the right people, the right thoughts, consciousness. And Dave, if you could put those lyrics up, maybe they would want to sing with us. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. You're in the right place at the right time. You're just where you're supposed to be. You're in the right place at the right time. Just where you're supposed to be. And your soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome here. I'm getting a message loud and clear. Your soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. You'd like to get up and greet your neighbor? Bump elbows or give them a good morning. My soul is welcome here. 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 Yeah. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome. And my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. I'm getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Here's Ed.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful, warm, humid day. My name is Ed Torres. I'm the board president of the Center for Spiritual Living, and we would like to welcome you here. Our center and spiritual home is an open and inclusive community honoring all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are in your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. Our purpose, yes, that's the quiet one, Holly. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you are here for the first time, please raise your hand so we may give you a wave and greet you properly. Anyone here for the first time? Welcome. We have something for you. One of the ushers in the back will be giving you that gift. And if it's a lottery ticket and you win, we get 50%. We're so happy to have you with us in the service today. We are grateful for your presence, both in person and those of you that are online at Facebook and YouTube channels. And now our centering music performed by our very talented Gilman Carver and Mac and the drums. Thank you.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us here. It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us, you and I.
I particularly like the lyric that says, we can all know everything without ever knowing why, right? For those of us who like overthink. Yeah, it's a good check-in, right? Okay, so, reading. I just want to share that this week I sent a picture that came up on my yoga site, and I forwarded it to Reverend Mark, and it was presumably a homeless man, and he was holding a sign, and it said, and he had so much character in his face, and it said, seeking kindness. And it really moved me, because there's such a tendency to look away in that kind of an intimate encounter where we don't want to see necessarily the pain, the injustice. And this was just somebody asking for simple kindness. So it's appropriate that this reading is pertaining to kindness. It's entitled We Can Be Kind, and it's by David Friedman. So many things you can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that doesn't seem to go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there seems like there's nothing that we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of one another. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, when we're there, we'll find that for each other, when we come together, whatever the weather, whatever tomorrow may bring, we can be kind. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our loving hands. And it's not enough to talk about it, not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it, you and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. And we can be kind. We can take care of one another. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we're kind to one another, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. True peace, peace of mind, if we always remember that we can be kind. And so resting into the simplistic profundity of the charge for today, random acts of kindness, being willing to speak for goodness, radical goodness on this planet, being willing to seek beyond the superficial realm the healing that is just below the surface, calling forth injustices, calling forth the pains, calling forth pockets where truth is not present, calling forth overwhelm and resignation and apathy, calling forth all of those energies into the higher vibration that only knows unity, that only knows an inexplicable sense of oneness, where that energetic of each of us on the planet comes together for one greater purpose. And so on those days that each of us might feel that it's just too much and we can't hear another hour of news, or we can't hear a seemingly negative conversation, or the debates that ensue with our seemingly varying points of view, I call forth kindness, being willing to live by the authority of my own soul's integrity as I stand here today, calling each of us forth from that deepest place of heart knowing that recognizes and is willing to take a stand for the higher knowing that we're meant to be kind to one another. We're meant to see one another, even in those places of pain and discomfort, and to allow others to see us. Into me, I let you see intimacy. Into me, I let you in, recognizing that the alchemizing power of love, loving kindness, and the regenerative energetic that is more than enough to alchemize anything unlike it on this planet. So it's not too big a charge. If not me, who? And if not now, when? When are each of us going to answer to the call when we're feeling this invisible line of separation when we look at the seeming other who's navigating a dark night of the soul, forgetting that there by the grace of God go I, and that those circumstances and conditions can reconfigure at any time. And I am the one seeking support. I am the one that's asking to be seen. I am the one who's seeking simple kindness. And so I call forth the face of this beloved man with the weathering from moving through all the elements, presumably living outside. And I call forth that from that place, he wasn't asking for anything on the tangible realm. He wanted to be seen. He wanted you to look at him and to recognize yourself in his eyes and to send back loving kindness, radical goodness, and to know that that's more than enough to create a catalyst for profound change. And so I'm calling that energetic forth today, and I'm knowing that it's igniting each of us that steps into that higher charge, the authority of our own soul's integrity, and says yes to being a radical do-gooder on this planet. And I know that as beloved Reverend Mark steps into and owns that, he, as an emissary for spirit, as service, steps into that charge. He says yes today. As each of us says yes and leaves the results to God. So when we're looking at who do I be in order to affect change, in order to do what I need to do on this planet, I remember that simply saying yes to being a servant of spirit is more than enough. And that the human energy of simple kindness forever lights the way. And so I give profound thanks for this opportunity to speak this word, for this beautiful face that was revealed to me in this picture this week, for the place within me that it evoked, for the remembering that there by the grace of God go I, because I've walked in some dark places in my lifetime. So as we step out of the way and we allow God to be God, let us not forget those times that we've navigated through. Let us not forget, let us not have spiritual arrogance where we hold ourselves higher than anyone. And let us give back from the pain that's been our growth. Give it back to somebody else. Reach out and be kind and have empathy. So releasing my word into the power and the potency of God as the ultimate healer, I rest in thee. And from the Lord God of my being, I affirm God's magnificence as the order of the day. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Lay it down.
Okay.
Woo!
Kristen's not here today, our bass player. She had other things to do, but she sends her love, and we're just going to power through. Song by James Taylor. 1, 2. You can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another, doesn't take any sacrifice. Whoa, father and mother, sister and brother, if if it feels nice, don't think twice, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Tell me what you plan to do about your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Won't you tell somebody the way that you feel? You can feel it beginning to ease. Think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Okay, help us out on this part, will you? Just shower the people you love with love. Here we go. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. This ain't every life. People you love with love. They say the rain must fall, just like the pouring rain. People you love with love. Make it rain. Show them the way that you feel. Make it rain. Shower the people you love with love and sunshine. Show them the way that you feel. Oh yeah, make it rain. Shower the people you love with love. Sunshine. Show them the way that you feel. Oh yeah. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. James Taylor.
Beautiful, ladies and gentlemen, Gilman Carver and the Dream Band.
Please join me in a slow clap in welcoming Brother Mark.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go. I've always wanted to do that with dry ice. So how is everybody today? Good morning. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at CSL Redlands, Practitioner Emeritus. That means I have 20 years or more of service as a licensed practitioner. And so I'm in ministerial school. I've taken a couple classes, but I am not yet a reverend, so I'm going to say that. Reverend Caitlin O'Connell always calls me a reverend, and Reverend Dr. Renee Hart is here in the house, and Daryl Prince, welcome back. Welcome back to the center. So, are you ready for a wonderful, fun message today that's going to hopefully inspire you? Okay, well, the monthly theme has been Living Everyday Wonder. And today's topic, the talk title is called Good Work. And so I'm wondering how many of us have work So when I thought of the word work, what comes to your mind? Yeah, like work. Work? Work, it's a 4-letter word. Work? So there's different generations, right? Like work, when I started work, was work. When I was a kid, my dad thought it'd be a fun idea if I became a janitor of his office building. Isn't that a fun idea? When you're like less than 15 and more than 10 and you're cleaning a public restroom, you're like, what? And then I remember being one of the first, I was a busboy at Coco's in Costa Mesa on Harbor and Adams, and I was the second male waiter ever. Because it was in the 70s when you didn't really want a male waiter, right? And remember where the smoking section was here on this side, but the non-smoking section was here, right? Because that made all the difference in the world. So for this idea of good work and work, like from my generation, I think of work as labor. But today, and you know how we speak in our centers all the time about the idea of evolving consciousness? Think of how it's shifted today. Because many people now are only aligning, they will only do what they believe is their soul's calling or a divine purpose. Like I didn't think, well, is it my divine purpose to clean out ashtrays? Was it my soul's calling to clean a public restroom? Well, I don't think so. But I think at that point, back in that part of the growing up in that generation, was maybe to teach me the value of earning, right, and work. I think that could have been the message from my Marine dad, who's always still been very supportive, loving, kind. So the idea was, can I teach this kid anything, or do we give that kid everything? So this idea of good work has shifted so much that even on news reports now, it says this next generation, what's it called, XYZ? What's the next generation of upcoming people, do you know? Not sure. We have the millennials still around, right? The next generation, I'm told, and I've seen this on a news clip, they're saying they're going to close their phones off at 5. And we're going to call it the phone it in generation or whatever it is. There's a phrase for it of what this next evolution of work is going to be for this group, this population of people. Because remember when there used to be a BlackBerry before there was the tablet and the computer, follows you all the way around, you have a smartphone, and I mean, it really didn't help us very much, did it? That we could be available to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And many people were up for a promotion list, right? If you did respond, after 5, after 6, after 7. And there are some careers, of course, that are going to make you work anytime, right? You have, what would they be? Doctors. Hello, there's emergencies, right? Surgeons, even real estate people, to be honest with you. There's many times. Do you remember that line out of the movie Money Doesn't Sleep? What movie was that? Wall Street or something like that, right? Because when deals are coming together, even in real estate, it matters what time people docu-sign a document. You actually can have a transaction in the middle of the night. And so this idea of doing good work, I wanted to open up with you to see, where is your greatest potentiality to where are you aligning in your own life with your divinity, right? Because that feels natural, and it doesn't really feel like work, right? And so I want to give a few examples of that. One that I could think of right away let's just talk to some of the musicians. Does it feel like work, or does it feel like you're calling when it doesn't feel like work? Oh, Gilman saying, I have not worked a day in my life. Al, how do you feel about it? I'm going to put it on the mic.
I prepare, that's the work, and then when I get here, it's not.
I prepare, and everybody heard what Al said, right? And so the thing is, though, knowing that you're a part of many productions, right? You have to show up on time. You have to be at all the rehearsals. It's not like it's just magic, right? It's work, but if it comes from the divine, if it comes from your soul's calling, it can be a little bit more tolerable and fun, right? Okay. And how do you feel about it?
You put in the work to want to do it, and then when you get to the point where you're actually playing the music and you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work. Again, it feels natural. You just flow with it.
I I love that. Thank you. And so do you see the idea? The idea is you can find something. So for those people who are watching remotely, obviously, and the ones that are here, right, find something that calls you. And sometimes from people in our generation, if we didn't have the work, like the career that paid the bills, that's where we were able to be of sacred service, seva, right? This idea of volunteerism. That's where some people are still doing that, right? Where you can also volunteer to have a way to fulfill your soul's destiny, your divinity, to have a way to uplift and inspire the world, right? It's what everything that was spoken, everything that was said. So I want to give a few more examples. David, do we have any of which do you want? Let's start with the Ed one if you have it. So, okay, go ahead. So we're going to see what we have, and we're not going to judge our technology. Okay, so one of the congregants called, was it about 4 years ago, there was huge storms here in Redlands, and they said, what about using the back building as a women's shelter? It was just horrible outside. And the person I haven't seen them here in a long time, many years, but they knew who to call, who would say yes, and who had a key. And all of a sudden, we were, without really knowing, right, overnight, welcoming people into the space. Are there other photos? Okay, so that's his other wife, Jean. Everybody in the city knows that's his wife and kids, and Sanja. Is that awesome? And so I wanted to talk a little bit, and if there are more photos, okay, there's the award. I forgot to bring it this morning. I meant to. There's the award. He was recognized. Now Ed is not. You would be the first person to say, right, that you're not the you're not the first person or only person that deals with this issue, right? Do you want to say anything about it? What it means to you to do this type of work? And Jean, come on up if you do. If you don't, you can sit where you're at.
Well, I think and I feel and I know that when we do things of service out of the kindness and goodness of our heart, great things happen. No matter how small, they don't have to be recognized. They just have to be. And, you know, one thing I want to say, when we do things, we may never know what the end result is. But many times in our lives, we get to see an opportunity. And this was one opportunity, and that was the person who called me up in 2018, I believe, Sally Ann Moss, in the middle of the night says, can we open up our hall for women? And I said, yes, we can. And that started the whole process of the women's shelter and the women's safe shelter, because we knew that this small little step can mean very big things to many, many people. So that was my yes.
We can all say together, good work.
Okay, and my yes was, so I belong to another fellowship here called AA, and I heard be of service, right? And then they said there was a women's shelter who needed volunteers, and this was Jean. And I've been involved with it for 3 years, and I just feel so blessed because I don't know, it fulfills me. It fills something in my soul. And then I'm a part of this church, you know, and be of service, be of service. Yes, it's more than being of service. It's acts of kindness, it's acts of love. We had a food bank here. There was a Christmas program for a family that was in need, and they got everything on their Christmas list because of this church. And there were several people here, and we wrapped the presents, and we had food boxes. And again, being of service to this community. I was born and raised here in Redlands, and so to be able to give back is truly a blessing. And thank you.
And so I didn't ask either of them before. I didn't let them know I might talk about this. I'm just letting you know that's an example of good work, right? And it's not to receive credit. The highest giving can be anonymous. If you see the buildings that or money that's given, a lot of times the highest giving is anonymous. You don't have to have your name on the building. And if somebody wants to have your name on an award, and you have to also practice to receive, right, that recognition. So it wasn't like you really had a choice to receive that award. The mayor said this was the hero in regard to this portion of the program. So I think let's go to the next slide. Let's see, you surprise me with what it is, and then I'll tell you a couple of. I want to give some work examples, right, and how people can tie in. Which one are you doing? You do it. Let me see. I can go impromptu from here. Is anybody a tennis fan here? I'm going to talk for a little bit here because I'm just getting started. Nobody is a tennis fan. I'm not going to tell the story. Oh my gosh. Well, I got to tell the story. If you don't, nobody cared? I mean, like, okay, look. Does anybody know who that is? It's Serena. Now look, and you know what? Some people are like, Serena. Like, but you know what? Serena and Venus Williams changed tennis. It's a fact. You know, in 1999 at 17, Serena won her first U.S. Open. Right? That's amazing. And then think of all the people that have come. There were some contemporaries. I wrote a couple of the names down. I wrote down Katrina Adams is probably a contemporary or a little older. Then there's Alexandra Stevenson, a commentator now, who was around in the 90s as a pro. But then you look at the slew of other people now, right? Winning, being number one. You look at Taylor Townsend, Madison Keys, Sloane Stevens, Naomi Osaka, and Coco Gauff. And Coco Gauff is a kid. She's still 18 or 19. She's just going to play in the second week. And it wasn't unusual anymore for them because they grew up seeing themselves on TV winning tournaments. Does that make sense? And I don't feel like I want to say so much about them. I could talk for an hour about them because I grew up watching them and they would never give up, never. And sometimes your body is not able to do the things that a 20-some-year-old across the net from you is able to do. Isn't that so? So I'm encouraging you to watch that tennis. Now the reason, why'd you take it down? When she went like this, she had just served an ace. And she's like, right, watch. She's like, hello? Do you have the one of the husband? That's an awesome one because it ties into our divinity. Watch this. She was reminding herself, I know how to do this. Yeah. I think, don't forget. I was at home watching this and I almost passed out because I'm like, I don't know what he's really talking about. It could be, don't forget that you have a daughter at home and you need to retire. He could be saying, but I think what he's saying is don't forget who you are. And I'm here to tell you as my spiritual message, if the only thing you walk out of here with today is don't forget who you are. Let's say it together. I won't forget who I am. And as our spiritual director, Sanja Prince, always says, whose you are. I remember whose I am. All right. And then is there one more clip? And we could go. Go ahead. Yes, right.
A newscaster interviewed Serena after the fact, and he said, were you surprised? And there was this delay, and she said, no, I'm Serena. And I was like, there was no arrogance about it. It was her owning who she is and her life's purpose.
Right. And when you really watch all of it, she didn't say no. They were joking with each other in the silence because it was Mary Jo Fernandez who coached her. And she knew that she wasn't surprised. But you have to be real careful of our words, too, because she didn't say no. She just said, I'm just Serena. And you should watch those tapes because there's a lot of spiritual messages that you'll receive from these things. Thank you for sharing that. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Let's just see. And then I'm going to go to some science of mind stuff and be done. I just thought this was, so that was the last of my Serena stuff. Just to say, you got to go forward and take it. If you're playing from the baseline all the time, somebody's going to out-hit you. She had to remember to go forward to take it. And that person she was playing, Konto, was the number 2 player in the world right now. And so at 40 to 41 years old, to have a career that's 27 years in tennis, try to find another. Okay, so I've overmade my point. There's another guy at Ione Elementary School, I-O-N-E. His name is Mike House, H-A-U-S. He is now a principal. He started out 30 years ago as the janitor. And did you see that clip? And where is that school? Alexa didn't know. I'm not sure where. IONE. And then for 19 years, he was a teacher there. So I thought that was interesting. What's that? Yeah, he's a principal now. Yeah, so I'm going to give a couple of science of mind things, if that's good. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Was that way too much? Was that way too crazy? Hey, I liked it. I'm seeing some eyes around from my editors going, you're crazy. Of course I'm crazy. I'm Brother Mark. So I'm gonna now give you a big infusion of science of mind, okay? And then we're gonna be done. So here we are. And I'm back to my pamphlet from Religious Science, remember it? First circulated and copyrighted in 1932. It's on its 19th printing in 1988. And it's from page 47. We are surrounded by an intelligent force and substance from which all things come, the ultimate essence in the invisible and subjective world of all visible and objective forms and conditions. It is around us and in its original state, ready and willing to take form through the impulse of our creative belief. It is its nature to respond to our belief. It works for us by flowing through us. This law we did not create. This law we cannot change. We can use it correctly only as we understand it and use it according to its nature. So for people who are brand new, if you want to know more about it, of course we're here to share more about it. Do most of you understand what that is? So last week I had the extension cord and the plug. We got to plug in to the knowing that this power, this presence, this love, this grace, this life, call it whatever you want to call it, as long as it's a force for good, is waiting. It's waiting for you to say yes, to use me, show me, guide me. It needs your permission. And so I'm asking you, are you willing to use it more for your highest and best good? If you are, just say, heck yes. Heck yes. All right. There's a little more. We should be, so this was talking about the work of a practitioner, and I want to do it, and I'll go really quick. This is from page 48 and 49. We should be able to look at a discordant fact in the face and deny its reality. Our standard is one of perfection. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Matthew 5:48. We should be able to look at a wrong condition with the knowledge that we can change it. The realization that we have this ability must be gained by the application and the knowledge of our principles, science of mind. The practice of science of mind principles calls forth for a positive understanding of the spirit of truth, a willingness to let this inner spirit guide us, and the conscious knowledge that the law of the Lord is perfect. That's Psalm 19:7. And we must believe this to be a fact. Insofar as our thought is in accord with this perfect law, we will accomplish, and nothing can hinder it. Isn't that beautiful? So when you get to the idea that you and spirit are a majority, that you and spirit are co-creators in this thing called life, that's your reality, that's demonstrated by the life that we're living. Holmes would just say that the life that we're living is like a film of what we truly believe. And if we need to change it, we need to rise. Reverend Dr. Renee Hart always says we have to go to the highest vibration. So if you're seeing it as like a ladder, you just got to keep climbing higher, right? Don't let anybody catch your foot. Just shake it off. Shake them off your feet. Because as you go higher, some people are going to try to grab you because they don't recognize the one that's on the next rung. They like the one that was stuck in fear, doubt, worry, sadness, trepidation, sense of lack or unbelonging, this one that was unworthy. And then when you find your worthiness, holy moly, right? You can rise. You just rise. And it's easy and it's free. It's your destiny. You are a child of the Most High God. That's who you are. And if you can take that in, even at any level, just say, I am a child of the Most High God. And you are. You're already beautiful. You're already magnificent. You're already perfect. You're already whole. You're complete. Nothing can be added. There's a scripture coming, right, that about you can't add something, a cubit something, right? You can't add anything to your nature. It's already perfect. Got it? Let me just scan through. We're almost done. So a practitioner, this is really important. We're trained to see perfect God, perfect man, right? And the spiritual truth of your being despite appearance. And it's a call, because to go into a hospital room, even if somebody's about to make the transition to the next realm of life, you have to be able to go in that room and not bring the energy down in it. You have to bring the energy at the highest. So if we're not ready, we better get ready before we walk in to that space. And you can do it too. Practice this. I'm asking you to do this as a spiritual practice. If some of you have challenges at school or with family or in your work, right? Good work. Maybe with other musicians or colleagues, even it can be congregants, whatever. Take the pause. I'm going to say something that came clearly for me, meaning the pause, meaning you're bringing your energy with you, right? So if you can't at least be neutral, maybe it's time for you not to go, too. You can give yourself permission not to go. That's right. You can say, no, I'm staying home. You could give yourself permission to go and be neutral. You can give yourself permission to go and raise the vibration where you're going, and you can give yourself permission to go and make it a heck of an amazing time, because you're not going to judge and you're not going to be judged. So what I felt when things were happening earlier this morning was the power of silence. Silence is a really wonderful practice that anybody can use to not respond, to not engage. If something's happening at a low frequency or a low vibration or something you don't want to have continue to repeat itself and continue, you don't have to engage it. You can just bless it and release it. You can just bless it. You don't have to do anything. You could choose from nothing to do nothing. You can just let it be. And you can hold vigil. Sometimes you'll see in the center practitioners or even congregants even just gently closing their eyes and just holding the space, for the highest and best good. You can do that. We can do that with family, friends. We can do that in lines, the long lines. I've seen people call forth parking spots right in the first row using their science of mind. So this is the main thing. You can look at whatever's happening as a false fact. Right? And let me just read this one part because it's kind of intense. This is also page 49 and 50. A practitioner uses thought definitely and for specific purposes, and the more definitely we use the law, the more directly it will respond. A false fact is neither person, place, nor thing to the one who uncovers it, and once uncovered, it has no place to hide. The illusion seen and understood is made negative in the experience of the one who suffered by it. While it is true that wrong conditions exist, they could not remain unless there were someone to experience them. Consequently, the experience must be in consciousness. So if we change the consciousness and the false condition, it will disappear. Conditions are not entities. We are entities. Cannot that which is conscious cast out that which has no consciousness? If we properly understood, we should be able to remove false conditions as easily as Jesus did. Jesus, knew, but our faith was weak. We must strengthen it, and we can. That's why all of us are here. That's why people watch remotely, because we're practicing, we're building our faith, right? We're building our energy, because we must first rise and save, in a way, ourselves to be able to see freely, clearly, and rightly. On page 52, it says, of all the people in the world, the ones who have come the nearest to touching the seamless garment of truth have been the greatest lovers of the race. Jesus said, and I, if I be lifted up, will draw all men unto me. And men means men, women, people unto me. John 12:32. So we should not work with anxiety, but expectancy. Not with coercion, but with conviction. Not through compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. We do not have to drive nor push, but we must accept and we must believe. Then we should leave everything to the law. When we say law here, we mean the universe, expecting a full, complete proof of our faith. We shall not be disappointed nor chagrined, for the law is our faithful servant. One should treat any given proposition until you prove principle, no matter how long it takes. We should treat until we get results, until there comes into objective experience the actual outpouring of all of our subjective words. A practitioner consciously removes the apparent obstruction and leaves the field open to a new influx of Spirit. And that, to me, is the most powerful prayer. Spirit, use me, guide me, show me for my highest and best good. Spirit, and then you can make a secret deal. Try it. Make a secret deal to have your wildest expectations surpassed. Spirit will never let you down, never forsake you. So, this was a lot, and I appreciate you allowing me to have the privilege of speaking. We bless the Prince family. We bless Sanja where she is on her way back home. Sanja should be here next week. I'm going to close with a bunch of affirmations and then only allowed to say 3 of them. So I'm going to invite you to allow your outer eyes to close and take in all of them for yourself. And then I'll have you repeat 3 of them with me at the end. I am a center in the divine mind. No, not yet. A point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action and correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is power in this word that I speak because it is of the truth and it is the truth. Spirit animates everything I do, say, and think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct and sustain me without effort. I'm continuously directed and compelled to do the right thing at the right time. All suggestion of poverty, limitation, or unhappiness is uprooted from my mind and cannot gain entrance to my thought. I am happy, well, and filled with perfect life. I live in the spirit of truth, and I am conscious that the spirit of truth lives in me. My word is the law unto its own manifestation. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. I know, and I know that I know. Every thought of doubt vanishes from my mind that I may know the truth and that the truth may make me free. The truth is instantaneous in its demonstration. And so if you'd like to allow your eyes to gently open, we'll say it together. Spirit animates everything I do, say, and think. I am directed and compelled to do the right thing at the right time. I am happy, well, and filled with perfect life.
Happy, well, and filled with perfect life.
My word is the law unto its own manifestation.
My word is the law unto its own manifestation.
I know that I know that I know.
I know, and I know that I know.
And together we say, and so it is. Dream Band. Give it up for the Dream Band.
People used to ask me why I chose music as a career, and I'd always tell them, I never chose music as a career. I just knew who I was at a very early age. Let's see, okay. Oh, well. One more time. Don't tell Mark that I brought props. Amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing. and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. For the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. Don't need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, you will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
That's Gilman.
Okay, just real quick, because I missed a part that I was supposed to do. Oh, okay. The announcements are on the back of the pass out that you all have. But I want to make a couple small announcements. And I want to thank Brother Mark and Caitlin for talking about kindness, because, you know, this center, I just want to recognize a couple people. I want to recognize Jean for her willingness to step forth in the women's shelter. I want to recognize Joe, Holly, Maria, Iris, and Amy, and Phil for creating lunches every Saturday for those that are in need out in the streets. And I just want to thank this congregation for opening up your hearts and your minds and your givingness to create meals for the women's shelter. And I just want to say this is a beautiful manifestation of what happened over 4 years ago by saying yes. So thank you all for saying yes. And I just want to say something to everyone that's here that will get a card. And it says, this is so powerful. Thank you for being who you are and for doing what you do. Who you are is wonderful, and what you do is important. So thank you very much.
Huh? Okay. Here. This is fine. The page is right there. And it's tiny. Okay. So I'm going to read you something because when Mark and I were kind of going back and forth about his topic for today, who came up for us was John Lewis, who talks about getting into good trouble. So the following I've extrapolated from different quotes and kind of wove them together pertaining to that charge, that call from John Lewis to get ourselves into good trouble, necessary trouble. John Lewis was a prolific orator. His works have galvanized and empowered transformative, nonviolent activism for generations. The following is an interweaving of some of his most famous quotes, which illustrate John Lewis's lifelong determination to get into good trouble, necessary trouble. When we see something that is not right, not just, not fair, it is our obligation to say something, to do something. Our children and their children will ask, what did you do? What did you say? Young people can and should push for continued transformation and hold us accountable to it. Each generation must do its own part to create a fairer and more just society. Freedom is not static. It is a verb. It is an act. It is not some enchanted garden perched high on a distant plateau where we can finally sit down and rest in our glory. John Lewis reminds us that freedom is ever evolving, a continuous action which we must all take. He cautioned us not to get lost in a sea of despair, to be ever hopeful, to remain optimistic. You are the light, he says. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Speak up, speak out, get in the way. Get in good trouble, necessary trouble. We've been too quiet for too long. There comes a time when we're obligated to say something, to make a little noise. We must be willing to get into good trouble as we speak out and stand firmly against injustices. We must move our feet as we align in the power of truth. We have a unified mission to be on the right side of history, for our silence will indicate acceptance, and our apathy will consecrate our perpetual divide.
Goodness. Okay, and so now it's our offertory time. I want to also thank all the teachers. The teachers are doing their divine call, aren't they always? And we remember our teachers who have molded us. So it's now time for our conscious giving. I invite you to take your tithe, your gift, your offering, just place it over the heart space. And I invite you to say with me line by line. After I say the line, if you agree, you can say it out loud. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
Thank you for giving. Thank you for receiving. And thank you for being who you are. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for believing. And thank you for being who you are. The universe is flowing with love that's ever growing, and you are a vessel of that love. So thank you for caring, and bless you for your sharing, and thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being who you are.
For those of you watching remotely on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel, we can accept donations and tithes via Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal, and by check in our secured mailbox. If you're watching on Facebook, you can just click on the Donate Now button. Let us know who you are and from where you're watching. I invite the congregation to outstretch our hands toward the offering collected. I bless these tithes and gifts and offerings, knowing that they're sufficient to cover CSL Redlands, which is a successful idea in the mind of Spirit, in the mind of God, and how good it is to speak this word and know this truth. Together we affirm it, declare it, and let it be so by saying, and so it is. Thank you, ushers. And you could stay in the room for the closing treatment after, yeah. And I want to thank the Dream Band today again, everybody. Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Never better.
That's Mac over there on the drums.
Thank you.
Al on the keyboards and bass today. And yours truly.
And so I'm going to invite up for the closing prayer treatment, Daryl, if you'd like to come up, and Joe, Audrey, Caitlin, Renee. We're going to do a closing treatment. And you don't have to speak if you don't want. If you want to, you can, and I'll pass the word. Come on up here. We'll gather together closely, tightly. Are we getting better at this, David? Hopefully. And so I'm just going to invite everybody to turn within. Your fiesta's behind you. Please stay for that and fellowship. Let's together take a nice deep breath in. The divine breath in, exhaling out anything and everything that's preceded this moment in time. And as we breathe in that next divine breath, how good it is to be together, physically together, literally together, where healing, manifestation, demonstration for our highest and best good can occur with ease and grace. Lovingly, this space is a transformative space. It's a space that is an energetic field of awareness that always says yes to your highest and best good. So if you want more of that, just say yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. And I call forth for peace throughout the world now, for our, man, there's so many things happening in the world with, whoa, see it all, good and very good, bless. See supplies reaching all those places that need supplies, including fresh drinking water in Jackson, Mississippi. Thinking of all the places in the United States on fire and in flame, seeing that diminished and go out. Seeing divine protection everywhere, seeing in Pakistan, I believe there's floods that killed over 1,000 people. Seeing peace in the Ukraine, border to border, every village, city, and town. And anywhere and everywhere in the world, Spirit knows where it needs to go, and I see it flowing with ease and grace as I lovingly pass my word to Daryl.
And just echoing everything that Brother Mark has said, we talked about kindness today, and kindness emanates from that loving heart space. And it's an action item that we all need to be a part of, and we all need to do. Let's be kind to each other. Let's reach out and help each other. And let's be that beacon and light that we are each and every moment of our day.
And so jumping on that yes train, saying yes to Spirit, and allowing the results of what that yes may or may not bring to fruition, letting go of it, knowing and trusting that
who each of us is more than enough to affect change, and that our individual parts within this inseparable whole called the Creator is capable through acts of random kindness and radical goodness that we can, in fact, impart change. Not little bits of change, incremental change. No, there are no measures where the contagious aspect of love is concerned. There is no little or more. There's just love. There's just kindness. There's just goodness. And the electrifying pranic energy of that does the rest. We are more than enough. If it's to be, it's up to me. And if not me, who? And if not now, when?
Yes. So as we continue to take this God breath, I want you to breathe into that awareness of truth. And what I want you all to know is one thing. What you've been looking for, you are it. Hallelujah. So as we are walking in this truth, in this high vibrational frequency, we're sending the highest vibration of love throughout the world today. Because we step in this truth of the oneness of God, knowing that the Most High God Spirit is moving through everything in this moment. Because there's no lack or limitations of the Most High. So we step into this awareness that I am, that we are one with that universal presence. Knowing that there's no separation in that. So as we walk in the truth, knowing our words is power, has power, and it moves at a high vibrational frequency. We are the change that we have been looking for.
I know the truth. God is all there is. I affirm the divinity in me, and I affirm the divinity within each and every one of you in this sanctuary and beyond. May God's love, light, may our lights shine. Let us be of service to others, doing great work in the world, in love, peace, joy, and harmony. And in closing, I invite you all to just join me in saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Rise up for the closing song with the Dream Band. And even though it's warm, we're going to open the back doors.
And we get the lyrics up and you all can sing along. You all know this one anyway. Let the light of Spirit shine through me. Let the light of Spirit shine through you. As our grace and love make this a brighter world. That you're clapping. Let the light of Spirit shine on. Let's try it again. Let the light of Spirit shine through me. Let the light of Spirit shine through you. As our grace and love make this a brighter world. Let the light of Spirit shine on. Shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on. Let the light of Spirit shine on. Let the light of Spirit shine on. Let the light of Spirit shine on. You got to let it shine on.